Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. This is episode 73. I'm your host, Migs, here with my co-host Charlie, and we cannot wait to talk about what we're going to talk about in this episode. This is from San Diego Comic-Con, just happened. Fun Days was an amazing event, but there's tons of controversy because we had the at-event box and the home box. Now we got a lot of stuff that looks like it's the same exact thing except for the sticker. So is it really all about the sticker? This is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to chat about that. But if you haven't already, could you please like this video and show some love and subscribe to this channel? All right. With that being said, let's chat.
All right, everyone, welcome back. We cannot wait to talk about what we're going to talk about because there was a ton of craziness that happened over the weekend. Of course, it was San Diego Comic-Con. And last episode, we talked about, a little bit about the con, a little bit about the event that was going to be coming up, and all the pops and everything. So we're not going to go too much into the pops and everything because obviously you guys, or sodas and everything that came out, you guys know about that. It's going to be more about the events, of course, which was the Camp Fundays event that was held at San Diego Comic-Con. Plus a ton of exclusive stuff that dropped at the convention. Some stuff that was revealed. We'll go into that. Like they always kind of talk about some pops and things and lines that are going to be coming out. So we'll definitely talk about that. But there's a lot of drama when it comes to these Box of Fun boxes. We're going to kind of run through some of the stuff that we saw at the actual convention, some stuff that we have officially seen as well for the home boxes. And then there's also a couple of lists going out there. So we'll run through those as well as to potential Freddies that you could be getting in this at home box, that kind of thing. So we could start it off with, you want to start off with the juicy stuff, or you want to get into
let's just get right into the juicy stuff. And that is, some people obviously, like Meg just said, they're sharing, the Freddies that they're getting at the Fun Days, which is obviously always, in my opinion, it's probably the best day of the year for a Funko collector. It's just super fun. And people are showing off some awesome fire, like Anakin Skywalker as Freddy Funko, Captain America as Freddy Funko. And I mean, these are super low pieces. Like we're talking about like in 200 piece counts, and people are just going nuts over these. And I think they're some of the best ones that I've seen in a really long time. And as Miggs alluded to, here's where the drama is beginning. So some people yesterday, they're finally are getting the at-home boxes in, and like we have talked about this in the last episode, like there weren't many rumors or leaks going around, which is insane for this. Like last year, I feel like we knew a ton of them, and lo and behold, people are getting the same exact pops at the at-home box, like this Captain America one, which is causing a lot of controversy. It's metallic too, so it's the same variant, but the piece count is way higher and it's a different sticker. So now people are like, I mean, when I first saw the picture, I'm like, what's different about this Funko Pop? And then I went down a rabbit hole. We were talking and we're like, this is the same. Some people are like, he doesn't have a shield, the other one does. And now that's being debunked. Like it's either a complete huge screw up by Funko, or they're really telling you the only difference is the sticker. Like, I mean, this is crazy. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, so we'll run through like the stuff that came out, obviously, but just to get into this, the first time we saw like a picture of the, like you said, the Captain America, it's one of many. There's a few in this like predicament, but the Captain America was one of the first ones we saw, and yeah, it had a metallic sticker. It was exclusive. I think it was like 250 or 300. Like the counts are crazy. The ones at the event, which is sick. And I remember we were like, "Oh, that's an amazing one. That's awesome. We've never seen them like in that style." So then when we finally start getting pictures of some of the at-home ones, we're getting obviously a lot higher piece counts. That was kind of known early on that the piece counts were going to be higher up. I didn't know the ones at the actual event were going to be this low because we haven't seen this low Freddy piece counts in a while. Yeah. So then we start seeing that they're like literally the exact same thing. Obviously, the stickers are different for the at-home box. They moved the Fun Days under the tent and above it. They look very
different
similar.
Color.
We'll pop it up here if you guys haven't seen it. But it's literally pretty much the only difference. And then like we've seen a bunch of people post. We obviously saw some people, oh well, this is a little different or that's a little different. And it's like, well, is it? And then people are saying it's not. So there's a lot of stuff going back and forth. This is still pretty fresh because the very first few boxes have been going out, so still early on to know like the official details. But then I started seeing some people post a couple of interesting things, and it was like the UPC code on the boxes are
Yeah,
exactly the same. So literally, it is the same box, same, everything's the same except for the sticker. And then it got me thinking, and like some people will start talking about this as well, and I kind of do believe it, is that when it comes to cons in general, there usually always is a shared sticker and a convention sticker. Way back whenever there was, you had to actually go to the
Yep.
convention, sit there, get these exclusive pops versus, not doing that, getting it through a shared retailer. Now online essentially is a shared retailer because you can still buy it through Funko, but you'll get the shared sticker. And that has, for as long as I've known, messed with the values on like Funko
Yeah.
Pops, right?
Yep.
So like you could have the exact same pop just because it had the official con sticker, it was worth more money than the one that didn't. And that's kind of like what this is, but there's only one big major difference. Like, yeah, the sticker's different. It's like one you got at the convention and one you didn't, so that one should be more valuable. But they're piece counted, which is what's annoying because it's literally the same like figure. You're now basically saying the sticker, there's only 250 of these, or there's only 300 of these, and like 2,000 or whatever of these. Like, that's just bananas if that's literally what it
Yeah.
is. And I think the way that this whole drop happened, like you said, it was super out of nowhere, which was a shock that we had no idea what these. I guess there was technically one that leaked, if
Yes, the
officially it
one.
comes out, which
Yep.
is that Harry Potter one.
Yep.
And we did kind of think that was going to be for this, but then it never really came
No one
to
talked
fruition,
about
and
it.
now it did. So it's weird that I always thought that was surprising they didn't all come out beforehand, but I don't know. What are you like? Are you bothered by this? It doesn't matter. Like to me, it's like whatever. I mean, we're gonna get
Yeah.
into more details. I didn't even get an online box,
Yeah.
unfortunately, which was insane. Um, but it's just kind of, I get why people are getting upset.
Yeah, I
In the
get why
sense of
people
like
are
the
upset.
exclusivity of it.
And I mean, if you're a listener to this podcast, like we collect for fun because we love it. I mean, value's nice, but it's not like we're trying to flip these things. That's why it doesn't necessarily bother me. But there is something to be said about going to the event and getting something you can only get there. And I was cool with that last year because there was a lot of awesome pops you could only get there, and we can get ones at home. I do think for fun days, like I get the comparison for the con actually being at the con and at home, but I don't think they should choose that model for this. And the way this could have been totally solved, which I this is why I hate the variants, but what they could have done, you get the cooler one, the flocked, the metallic, the glow, yada yada yada, only at fun the actual event, and at home could have just should have just been the common. I don't think
Yeah.
people would be flipping out because then the piece counts truly would mean something. That's
Hmm.
where I'm bothered. Like it shouldn't be a Captain America metallic one that you're getting in the box, and that is what you got at Fun Days.
Yeah.
And then it makes
And
yeah, you can go.
no, I was gonna say they've done it before.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I'm a prime example. I have one of the Box of Fun Wolfmans, which is regular, and then they had flocked ones
yeah,
that they had that were a little bit more exclusive. And what's funny is I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of a regular Captain America one with a pretty low
yes.
piece count at the event, and then a lower piece count metallic version. So
You
then
did.
now you're telling me, now you're telling me there's an at-home one that's a metallic, same variant, obviously the cooler one, quote unquote, even though it's like whatever. But yeah, like do it like you said. Like if you're gonna make the same figure, like the actual character, that's totally okay. That's not, we're not saying that they have to be completely different people going, to the event versus this one. They can redo one, but make the variant the
And they did
difference.
that with the
Make that,
mascots. For the people
yes,
who
yes,
were
yes.
at the event,
Yep.
they all were flocked.
Yeah, which is so sick. Like it's awesome that all those characters could totally be flocked and
Yeah.
it totally made sense. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. We definitely want to know what like everybody else is thinking. I mean, I know the community is kind of an uproar right now, and everyone's going crazy, and people are just posting stuff and bashing or whatever. And like, it's still early on. Like, we're gonna learn more little by little, as we get more of these boxes and stuff. But it's just like it's kind of like it's a bad look in the sense of like if it was just a lazy attempt of them just reproducing the same thing and like trying to make it different just
Yeah.
because of a sticker, that's kind of stupid. Was it a mistake on Funko's end that the stickers or what went out was wrong? Like maybe they weren't supposed to be on what they were. If that's the issue, then that's a whole nother ridiculous problem that we've
That's what I
seen
first
we've
thought.
seen kind of happening. So it's not like surprising with
Exactly.
stupid stuff like that. Um, but again, there so far I think like Captain America one was one of them. There's a Transformers one,
A
the
Merlin.
Megatron, the Merlin one, yeah, and it's like it's just crazy because it's like it's not like a slight difference. Like we're talking about 100, 2, 3, 400 piece versus like 2,000. Like it's a
Yeah.
big,
Big
if that's
difference.
literally what the exclusivity of it is. And if they didn't do piece counts and they were, which obviously with Fun Days, it's pretty much always got these piece counts. But if it was more like the con representation where it's like you don't know the exact limitation, it's just that it was only given to you at a
Yeah.
certain event, it's not as weird because people kind of already expect that. Even though I've always kind of been like, wow, it's just a sticker, like I have shared stuff that I still love, even though it's not the actual con stuff, but I understand why that would be more
Yeah.
valuable because you're there and you waited in line or whatever. But with these, I mean, they haven't done this before. The previous
No.
Fun Days, the Halloween like event in New York City, like they made sure to kind of make things completely different. You had some that were just at the event that you did not see at home at all. And then some were different, but it was just a variant of it. And it's like, this is like really weird that they did this. But yeah, definitely let us know what you guys thought. And is this a Funko mess up? Is it not a big deal? Or is
Yeah.
this a big deal? Or are they we have other things that I'm sure we'll talk about that kind of go into like what the hell is Funko doing sometimes, but this one's like I'm kind of I'm like on the fence with this one. Like it's like it's stupid and it's annoying, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, why would you make that obvious of a like
Agreed.
duplicate mess up?
Which
Yeah.
is interesting. There is a conspiracy theory going around now too in the community that that's why they waited to put the boxes on sale the exact same day as the event. Typically in the past, the online versions went on sale before, and some people
Yeah.
already had them in their hands. So now it's like the hype of the event wasn't taken down a notch because no one had any idea that you could have got these at home.
Yeah, because the event ones were actually the ones that came out first
Exactly. We're last
before
year,
well,
and
because we didn't see the box, obviously knowing what was
yeah.
coming. But
So if that's true too, that's like a bad look on Funko, where like I feel like this, once again, like Mick said, let us know what you think. And like this isn't the end of the world for us, but I do think some pretty hardcore people who have not officially soured on Funko yet, this could be like the nail in the coffin.
yeah, I feel like there's two big, like there's that and then there's an NFT thing, which we'll kind of get into later because it's gonna end up crossing over. But I think those are two really
Yeah.
big points where people are like that were on the fence with Funko and kind of fed up with them are gonna like just jump and maybe not come back type of things. But we'll talk about that after. Um, but yeah, the event was obviously a hit.
Yeah.
They had thousands and thousands of people. It's always a big, big deal. This one I thought was gonna be interesting because it was a different San Diego Comic Con. We really didn't have the big movie stuff. Obviously, with
No.
all the writer strikes going on, there was a lot of like, whether it was just people not attending or boycotting or whatever it may be, it was definitely different than what we're used to. Like a San Diego Comic Con, more
Yeah.
post, Funko, not just Funko, and things that happened. But on the Funko end of things, it was pretty big. They had this Fun Days event, which is enormous. We follow tons of content creators and YouTubers and Instagram pages that were there. Like I saw so many people, and I was actually
So
surprised. Some
many.
people live on the West Coast, and then I was like, some people were flying over from Florida, from up here, or whatever. And it was like, wow, this was a pretty big event. It's making me like really want to do New York Comic Con
Yeah.
because if it's anywhere near like what this was, it was awesome. obviously they had special guests and they always announce things as well. But the box of fun, just to kind of stick with that, I do want to run through some of the stuff that we did officially see. And like at least there's a pretty big list that came out with like at least majority of the ones that came out with the piece counts and stuff, just so you guys get an idea. But like Charlie said early on, this was probably just based off of that event, and we started seeing the stuff rolling out, was probably like one of the best Freddy events, like where we saw stuff that we were
Yeah.
jaw dropping.
I was having major nerdgasms. I'm just saying.
It was wild, and it was like super FOMO going on, where I was like, "What? Wish I
Yeah.
was there. Damn, why couldn't I get this? Oh my god, that's amazing!" And it just like some of these pops are going to be ridiculous prices, and like you kind of laughed about it when we were talking about beforehand before we started recording, that people were flipping stuff like immediately, and like you could see like the prices of stuff being going
Yeah.
wild because like the first time you saw Freddy as Anakin, like things like that, people were going nuts and just like wanting it. But just off the bat, like Charlie did say, obviously the mascots did get announced and did get given to the teams, but they were all flocked. They were 850 piece limited, which is pretty crazy. Like I said, the limit numbers of these pops were wild. Like they were very, very low. But yeah, the Chesapeake Eagles, Funamuk Bears, of course, Papawaka Lumberjacks, and then the Protomoa Wolves all released with like a version in flock basically for them. And then the online ones I think are going to be the regular, normal, non-flocked options, which I think are limited to like 6,000, whatever the box
Number was. I don't
was.
remember,
Which is interesting because does that mean that there was only 850 people for each team there? Like it's kind of a weird. Like I wonder if everyone actually got one of those or not, or if like
I know
it was
that's a
given. I
weird.
thought about that afterwards. It was like,
Part of me is like, if you're at the event, you don't get to pick your team. You're just given one. If anyone went, let us know. So it's kind of like they sold X amount of tickets. This is all the mascots, and like you just whatever box you
yeah, because it
got.
was like separate lines. I saw like there was like this is this team and this team, and obviously creators and people that were together seem to have all kind of gone to one team or to stick
Yeah.
together. So maybe that makes sense that they did all stick to one thing. But did you want to? Are you looking at? Do you have this list that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
The
have the
disc
list.
trackers one.
Yeah.
You can run through that first group because I know it has some that you're like super hyped about. And kind of like so I wanted to see some stuff that was well, this again wasn't just announced. We saw pictures and we saw people pulling these. But they were pretty fire.
Give me 1 second. Now I am trying. Okay, yes. So I mean, start off with Anakin Skywalker, which I already said, but then we also got a holographic like Force Ghost one, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Captain America's, we got, like we said, normal, and we got a metallic of that. And we got Chewbacca, which the Star Wars is out of control. We got Blue Beetle,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, get on the hype
Super
train for
cool.
that. It's super cool. It's awesome. We got Dwight Schrute, which I mean, that one's, I mean, Hopper, we got Megatron, we got Merlin, we got Mike in the Hellfire Club shirt. I mean,
Yeah.
the list just goes on and on. I mean, you want me to keep going? Like it's just it's a there's
Yeah, I could run through some of the other ones.
yeah.
And like just like I know Charlie didn't say all of them. We'll try to pop up some, but like there was a couple of those that are 100 piece counts. Like the Hopper, the Genji. I don't really know too
Genji,
much about
which
that one.
yeah,
Genji
I
one.
think is that from Overwatch? Anyone, if
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
yeah.
let us know.
100 piece count on both of those, which is insane. There was a Peacemaker metallic, super cool. A Pinocchio. We had the Ron Weasley, which is the one
Yes,
leak
the one.
that
So
was
not the
leaked.
NFTs or coming.
Shaggy Blacklight, which this is kind of where it was cool because Shaggy was supposed to be the normal version was for online, and then the Blacklight was at the event. So like
Yeah.
that kind of made sense. There was Spartan Freddy, which was the from Halo, right?
Yep.
250 piece. Spock with cat, Spooky Space Kook, Ted Lasso, freaking mustache, so
Yeah,
awesome.
it's awesome.
There was a Vision, Avengers 57, and then a Vision White. So two different versions, and then we had a Waldo one. I saw a lot of people pulling that one. The Wolverine in the yellow suit, which obviously at this moment is like huge because of
Yeah.
course it's going to be appearing in a Deadpool movie. Um, and then there was a Freddy Ranger, which was a higher piece counts is kind of just more of like the generic Freddy and like the outfit from the Camp Fun days. And then there was sodas,
Sodas.
of course. But real quick, just to say that the event you were able to get 3 sodas in your box. So
Yes.
it's 3 pops, 3 sodas. And then the home version obviously is going to be 2 sodas and 3 pops. So it was interesting that they were given 3 sodas. And some of these sodas are pretty sick.
They are pretty sick, but the interesting thing about that is you get, in my opinion, and we'll get into that later, but when you get the less sodas at home, overall, I think the sodas you're getting at home are better than the event, which is not cool.
Yeah, once we get
um,
into those.
even though I mean I was getting major FOMO. I mean, we have Batman in his rainbow suit. We have Big Boy. We have Darth Vader. I mean, when I saw that one, I was like, I need to have that. Dustin Blacklight, Dustin like normal, Thor soda, Proto the
Mhm.
dog soda, which I'm happy like Proto seemed to have gotten love with many products throughout this just con in general. And then just Freddy as like a ranger. The
Yeah,
sodas were pretty like limited in terms of not like terms of their piece counts, but like there weren't that many in terms of variety as there were for
variety.
the
Mhm.
pops.
Yeah,
But they're all
which was
sick.
interesting. Yeah, definitely sick. I feel like they kind of these are definitely better than from what I remember the last event that had sodas. Because the sodas were, that we
They're
had a
all
lot of
generic
Squid
for the
Game
hot.
ones and we
Yeah.
had a couple of generic ones that weren't anything crazy. These are like specific. I mean, like getting him as Darth Vader, like that's crazy. The Thor one was super sick. So yeah, like those are really cool. There was also like some other like non like pops that were kind of just exclusive to them. Obviously, the Bigfoot one, you always get some kind of exclusive with the Bigfoot. We had that. We had them in Blacklight. We had a Sasquatch and a Yeti. So we had all those kind of creature ones that they come out with. There was also like a couple what's it called, blockbuster rewinds that were rumored on this list, but I don't think I've seen anything
No,
of them, right? With
no,
Brian and
no, they
did you
came
see
out.
them?
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
I saw a
saw them.
picture of them. Okay,
I
with
mean,
Brian and Mike.
they're pretty
Uh,
I mean, I think they're sick. They did the sodas in their form. They're
yeah.
basically now we got the blockbuster rewinds. I mean, they're created in everything, which I mean, if you're the creators of the or company, like you should get to. So I think that's pretty sick.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, like the event there was obviously pretty awesome where it's like they gave out a lot of stuff. Now, one thing I did notice that was a little different is they didn't go the whole crazy heavy proto route. Like, I guess they were supposed to only had a few and they didn't really
Yeah.
want to like go crazy with the amount of people that were there at the event. So we saw like a couple people like posting some, but it wasn't like a big thing with that. It was more like you were getting these ridiculous boxes with amazing Freddies and like that was your big gift, right? So if you went to the event, I mean, if you're a listener and you went to the event, definitely let us know what you guys, felt about the event, anything that maybe we didn't know exactly specifically that was going down over there. But from what I saw, like the lines and everything, it was pretty bananas. So I guess it would have been pretty cool to be there. I was
Yeah.
in San Diego literally 2 weeks ago, which is hilarious. Um, but yeah, just missed it. But yeah, that was the box specifically for the event. So I do want to talk about the box for home a little after though, because I wanted
Yep.
to kind of just talk about more of the event because the actual event there's always something going on. They have special people coming out, and usually when they come out, it's because they announce like a pop for them.
Yeah.
We always kind of see that. So obviously this year we had some regulars we always see, and then a couple new people, which was pretty cool to see that they had some pops of them as well. So some of the reveals we could run through some of the reveals if you want,
Yeah.
Charlie. I don't know if you have a couple off the top of your head, just to just like what you thought of the reveal, or whatever. There
Like
wasn't
not
like there was a few things, but it was a couple lines that were interesting.
yeah. So first, I mean, we had been rumors. We got some new Stranger Things, and the house with Vecna is
Yeah.
sick. I mean, if you're a Stranger Things collector, like you need to add that to your collection. We got some One Piece stuff, which I know isn't for us, but I'm sure
Hmm.
people who were there were losing their minds over these because they just seem to for anything that comes out for One Piece.
Yeah.
I thought we got a 2 pack of Sonics, cool, but like I don't know if that was like worthy of something to be announced there on screen. Um, and then We got a lot of WWE pops.
Hmm.
I mean, I want you to talk about some too, but I thought for the most part, besides the one line I know we want to talk about, um, that has controversy, I thought the reveals were pretty weak for like
Yeah.
Comic-Con to be like, I mean, none of these were, oh my God, in my opinion.
Yeah. I always thought like this whole thing was a little weird. Like because what they announce is like some of the stuff is like sometimes it's like already out or it's about to come
Yeah.
out, and sometimes it's stuff for like another con, sometimes it's just a random drop. So it's always kind of like weird. Like I get it, like they're just kind of like, look, this is upcoming, like
Yes.
look out for these. And like I guess when it comes to obviously like Fluffy was one of them, right? He was there. Hey, look, here's my other pop. I have 100 billion of them. Here's the one that's gonna come out. So they announced it. But like sometimes they have a singer, and like this time they had AJ McLean from the Backstreet
Backstreet
Boys.
Boys, and he got
Last
one.
time, yeah, last time they had Elvira came out and she like had an exclusive soda, right? So like it's cool when they do that, and like you get like they sing or they perform or they're part of the emceeing or whatever that's going on with the event. We got Corey Feldman, which we know he's kind of been related to Funko in a little way because he was in the video previously. That very interesting video. He still looks the same, like a crazy man, but there's a pop of him, so we're gonna get him one of him. It's like, nothing crazy.
So
Um,
funny. I have no interest in that pop, but I kind of want it now just because of
God,
his
dude, it's
appearance in that
hilarious.
video.
Yeah, literally. Um, but we did have like some lines, I guess you could say, that were gonna come out. So like there's Holiday Marvel pop, so
Yep.
they did announce some holiday ones, which we're probably gonna get those. Rudolph specifically, there was a line just centered around the Rudolph like
Yep.
movie and stuff. So that one was pretty cool too. I would agree though, overall, it wasn't like wow. Like with some of these, there was lounge fly stuff. They always announce that like some bags, some wallets, some that kind of thing. Nothing like too crazy. But yeah, one of the lines we did want to talk about, obviously, because it's gonna, it got a lot of controversy behind it, especially in another world of Funko when it comes to stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. But it was a House of Dragon. So obviously, both of us are big fans, huge Game of Thrones fans, huge fans of House of Dragon. Um, the same thing when it came to the NFTs that dropped. Well, the pops came out. We had a couple random pops. We were excited about those. And then we were both very excited for the drop of the NFTs
Yeah.
because, it was an awesome line. The redeemables are fantastic. I had a really good run at pulling those. I pulled the Grail. Like it was an awesome set for us. But one of the reasons why us, and I think I can speak for you when I say
Yeah.
this, us as collectors of Funko NFTs, at least us specifically, we're not trying to flip them. We're not doing all that. We love collecting them, right? And one of the reasons why is because of the redeemables. And we both love pulling legendaries and grails and trying to get the royalty, whatever, because in we really are
Yep.
collectors, right? Like a physical Funko Pops. So that part has always been cool. One thing about Funko NFTs is that usually you have been pretty original. We've said this in the past that whenever we see the legendaries and the redeemables, they're usually almost always a pop that doesn't exist or a mold that doesn't exist of a pop, and they're pretty good with that. Now, once in a while, you get like a duplicate here and there, whatever. But for these, they were amazing, and now we're getting a line of pops, and they're biting off of these NFTs so hard. Like they're literally
It's not cool.
basically giving us the pops again in a regular pop. Now, technically, it's the chases, which is another interesting thing that I thought, not to keep rambling, but one thing I always hated about Funko, and we talk about it, is that they don't do the pop chase thing enough. And we've had plenty of times where we're like, why come out with 2 or 3 of the same character? Like, just make it a chase. So there's less of it and it's
Yep.
more exclusive. And it's like, okay, that's the chase version. They don't ever do that. Now, if the NFTs never came out and we saw this line, I would be like, holy hell,
I lose
this
my
is
shit.
amazing. Because look at that sick looking common of the king. And then look at that freaking chase. That is amazing. And then look at the Viserys one and look at the chase. Like, it would be crazy. But those chases are literally the redeemable pops from the NFTs. And we follow a ton of communities in the NFT world, and they are going crazy. Like in the sense of like, I'm never gonna collect
Yeah,
NFT pops again. Funko's done, blah blah blah. And it's like a really big deal to some people. And like it's a big deal to us, but there's some people that are going like literally, like I said, if they're on the fence, they're ready to jump over.
they're done.
And I mean, what are your thoughts? Because I know we both kind of probably think the same, but
No, I
it's
completely agree with you. It's ridiculous. It makes them not special. And I also find it kind of funny because Funko will be the first to tell you the box doesn't matter. So right here they're telling you the box matters a little bit, I guess, because it's the NFT version versus the normal version, if they even want to try to say like why it's different. And like you said, these would have been so sick without the NFT pops. But now, like, if they didn't make the chases, I wouldn't care
Mhm.
because that's really, even if it's the same character, it wouldn't bother me because then it would actually be kind of sick. It'd be like, okay, the NFT version is the more iconic look of what we got in the show. I just hope they don't do this, continue to do this.
Yeah.
Between this now and people still getting damaged pops. I'm seeing people's Power Ranger pops come in so messed up,
Yeah,
and
bro.
it gives me anxiety about it because I don't know. I still haven't gotten mine, and I'm like, it's been stuck in Trenton, New Jersey for like a while, and I'm like, this better not get lost because
Wow.
this was my most. I think this is my most favorite set out of anything that's come out that's not like Freddy, and I got all of them besides the Grail. Like they need to start taking more care in this because of all the money that people spend on these.
Yeah.
That's I know a separate issue, but now you see like the exclusivity of them now being tarnished by a common pop that you're going to be able to just buy for 11.99. It's just not cool.
Yeah. And it's already so like it's already affected the values.
Yeah,
If you I don't know if you noticed. So
I have. It's made
like
it also that it's kind of comical. The Cole character, he's now the most exclusive one, and that was the one no one wanted.
no. And you know what's funny is I could have bought him for like $30
Yeah,
right
me
before the
too.
redeemer. I was like, he's like whatever. And I was like, thought about it, and I was like, I don't need to. And obviously should have. But like the king one is one of the biggest ones obviously with this, and like I did pull that redeemable, so like it sat around 150, 140, 145. It would go up and down and fluctuate around there. Like it's now like thinking like at $80 or something, and it's like just dropping. And it's obviously because people are just like, this has no true value to it when you're just going to be able to pick up a common that's worth like nothing. And again, like we don't collect. So when we say the value thing, like we don't collect for something to then be flipped for us to make money off of it. But I'm not gonna lie to you and say that like if I got a pop that ends up being expensive, it doesn't make me excited. Of course
It's
it does, because
cool.
that's like awesome to have a valuable item. Like that's literally what majority of stuff that we collect when we try to go after grails or we do trades, or whatever it is for that reason, of course. But it's not to sell it. But like, yeah, it sucks to put a lot of money into it, or in some cases, you may have bought these
Yes.
redeemables off of people to then get them to redeem them for high value prices because at that time that's the market, you think that's what it's worth, and then they come and just duplicate it with a common, which now makes that one that you just spent all this money on worth basically nothing. And it's just like, that's kind of annoying. So it does suck. I feel like they're probably going to do this again with other ones. It's just and it's what I think, like if it was a huge major line, I guess, that has like already tons of pops and they did it, I would have been like, whatever. But because this is still a pretty exclusive, limited like type of show when it comes to Funko Pops, like it kind of sucks that like the next wave they come out with is
Yeah.
literally duplicating so many of these
They didn't
NFT
need to
ones.
make these. Like they just didn't.
Yeah.
Like
It's
they
it's weird. And whatever one, maybe these were originally going to be thought out before the NFT. So then in that case, like why do the NFTs to duplicate these? Like, one way or the other, it just doesn't make sense. And like the sticker thing was something that we laughed about before, but now, like you said, it's just a box. That's the difference. And like, yeah,
yeah.
we need to see these exactly. Maybe there's a little bit of a difference in the mold or whatever, but you're pretty much
It's the
duplicating the
same, like
thing.
you are going for, and like, I mean, if you haven't seen House of Dragon, go watch it. Spoilers, but I mean, you can see it in the image. But what you're the thing that made those other ones so badass was like the faultiness of what happened to these characters, which are perfect chases,
Hmm.
which is why they did it. But you didn't need to make these again.
Hmm.
Like, it's also too, it's like they know those are the ones that look cool, and that's why they made them chases, because they want people to keep buying more and more to try to get it. It's like the more I just keep thinking about this in my head, it's like so messed up. Because there's
Yeah.
characters they haven't even made yet. They didn't need to make these.
Yeah.
And now this will be like okay. Viserys will have one, two, three, four, five pops.
Wow.
Because in right here, he already has a normal one from the first line.
Yep.
There's one of him on the throne. There are now these two, and then there's the NFT one. I know he's the king, but there's tons of other characters that don't have any pop form from the show.
Hmm.
It's crazy, actually. It's actually piss poor, like, creativity for this show.
Yeah.
Because what they
It's
should have
just
done was waited for that. We said this back in the day when those were dropped. Why are they already coming out with House of Dragon? Even though we were super pumped, like they should have allowed their normal pop line to mature a little, and then dropped that, and maybe it would have been even more like exclusive random characters that they've done in the past for like other drops, like
yeah.
they just did for the It one, for example.
That's why I even said like maybe the NFT pops were the ones that were made afterwards.
Yeah,
But even if that's the case, it's like that's just like terrible way of like coming out with
terrible.
these characters. It's just like it's super annoying. Um, I don't know. It's definitely an annoying thing, and it sucks because we do like the show, and I do have some of them, and it's like I'm still gonna love it because I still think it's like such a sick mold and it's a character. But it does kind of suck.
It's
It's
kind
like
of it's kind of poetic for myself though, because I got nothing for that drop. I bought so many packs. I was basically crying afterwards that I was like screaming to my wife.
I
I'm like, I'm
forgot you didn't get any.
I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing it anymore. Now the two I wanted the most, I can now get at a copy.
Yeah, one of the ones I wanted most was the Aegon one or whatever, and now I guess I can get that other one and just be like, oh, cool, that's still a cool pop because it's still him. And I think it glows like the eye or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's even
I
cooler,
feel like they're gonna
technically.
be more of an action pose for the
Yeah, like I
NFT
said,
one.
I'm sure the actual mold specifically is not exactly the same, of course,
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just kind of
close
annoying.
enough.
But was
And
that all
Rand.
the reveals? Anything else? Yeah.
Those were like the main ones. And
It was
one, it's
Schoolhouse Rock too. That was a line they
oh
announced, which is
yeah,
kind of
there was
cool.
school. Yeah, and there also was like more Dungeons and Dragons ones.
Yep.
And the first thing that stood into my mind is they're making a 3-pack of like three of the villains from Stranger Things, like their
Yeah.
names.
Yeah. Back
And
then.
I feel like they did that on purpose to try to get Stranger Things people to buy this.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need that. Like it's not like they don't go hand in hand. Like
Yeah.
they
They've been
feel.
connecting these two way too much, and I get it. Like obviously there's a connection, but
Yeah, they're trying.
it's
Yeah,
almost like too much.
it's obvious Stranger Things is one of their biggest lines, and they want to get a little more money out of the people.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, though, and like we said, there was WWE ones, but the Stone Cold on a Zamboni is kind of cool. Um, I just feel like the WWE line is just like never ending.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. And we've talked about it before. Like they continue to throw out like batches of them, and it's always like older legendary guys and new
Yep.
wrestlers, and they literally always do that, and it's like continues to go on. But it's still popular, and it's obviously still going to sell. Um, but let's talk about this at home box. So
Yeah.
the box of fun, obviously the at home version went on sale last week. I unfortunately did not get a box. And it wasn't like I know it was a very hard drop. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. technical issues and people are not able to cash out and pressing the button 100 times, and it seemed like that's what everybody had to do just to get it to cash
Yeah.
out. um but for the most part, everyone was able to at least get one box or whatever it was, and now we're waiting to see when it comes in. Now, I didn't get any. I actually completely didn't even try for the box because I was at work and time, and I don't know what happened, but about 30 minutes afterwards, when I realized, I was freaking out. I went on just to see, just in case it was a random team, no one wanted type of
Yeah.
thing, and they were gone. So it obviously sold out. I was kind of hoping they would do like a restock or something, but who knows? Probably not. Um, but anyways, they did come out, and then obviously we started seeing the boxes of the actual event, and it was like, oh my god, are these some of the things we're gonna get? And usually it's not the same. Then there was these lists that started like kind of popping
Yeah.
around. We had one list which it seems to now be completely not what any of these are going to be.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like, but it's potentially what we'll see in New York Comic Con. And if that's the case, that list
That's
is
what I
pretty
think.
fire. We're going to keep it there. We're not going to talk about that list specifically. Um, but then we saw another list that was a little bit more specific. Then we did get like a set of some pops that look like, okay, these are going to be ones, and we didn't see them at the event. So like, all
Yep.
right, these are going to be some of the ones for the house, for the home version. And then, like Charlie said, people started actually getting them. It's usually people on the West Coast to get them quicker. And we started seeing 1, 2, 3 different variations of some of the boxes. So there is a list here with some of these, and we have seen pictures of, now at this point now, I think all of these. Now that I'm looking at the list, because over the last couple of days, oh, there's one
Yeah.
that
There's
has not. I
yeah.
think there's one that has not been shown at all. Um, but based off of this list, we'll just kind of run through it. So Freddy has Storm Shadow. I think we did see a
We
picture
saw
of
that.
that one. That was one of
Yep.
the first ones we saw. There is Freddy as Megatron, which this is one of those controversial ones where it's like,
Yes.
obviously there's the Megatron at the event, and then there's the other version. Then there's like a number 5 and a number 5 bloody version, which are supposed to be two different piece counts, I'm assuming. That's one of the first ones we saw when
Yes.
we were like, this is potentially what these boxes are going to have, and we were like, holy hell, that's pretty
Sick.
freaking sick. The Shaggy one we talked about, because the at-home version is going to be just him, not blacklight, basically, and it looks like he's holding what, like books or something, like in
Yeah.
his hand.
Yep.
um then we got a couple other ones here. You can run through some if you want,
Yeah. We got
to split it up.
Pinocchio,
Hmm.
Polka Dot Man,
Yeah,
which
which we just saw a picture of that one in
is
front
a
of me.
random one.
Yeah.
Peacemaker, which is sick. I want that one. Um, sorry, I'm not sure if we're looking at the same list, but because my next one is telling me a soda, which is Batman 66,
Mhm.
which have we seen that one in hand or a
No,
picture? I don't think we've seen that one yet.
no, no, no. The sodas, I think we've only seen 3 of them on the list that I have, at least. Well,
I'm looking at, I
some
don't
are
know if you
starting to
want to
drop.
pull up because, and I'll give a shout out to Gasolcast. Their
Oh
list
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
100% real. Um, they actually kind of, I think, got this from a source. They thought there
yeah,
was no way this could be true because it doubled up with the con, and now obviously they're like, this has to be true, and
yeah.
it's definitely true. Um, because this has the Captain America, it's got Soda, Freddy has Thor, which I've seen a picture of, which is sick.
Mhm.
Vision, we have Anakin, we have Vader Soda, we have a Proto Soda. I don't think we've seen this one, but maybe we have the S'more Soda, which he was like one of the special characters they actually had at a pop that I think they were kind of giving out to people at the
Mhm.
fun days, which was kind of cool because s'mores camping. I actually thought that pop was sick. Um, but Freddy as Chewbacca, the Star Wars like is out of control in this fun days this year, which as a huge Star Wars fan, it's crazy. It's like I want all of these. Um, the one though that stood out to me, which is amazing, is the Green Ranger, Freddy
Yeah, and we
Funko.
saw a picture of that.
We saw a picture of that. It glows, and just from looking, like it's actually a new mold. That does not exist for the Green Ranger, which leads me to believe we're probably getting new Power Ranger Funko Pops. Which I think we may have talked about before in a leaked list for an anniversary coming up.
Hmm.
Um, Space Kook, we've seen Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've seen it's pretty sick. Um, I don't know if do you want to start going? Do you see where I'm been reading from?
Yeah, well, I see they've posted a few different lists. It seems like because they were like little by little dropping more. But Mad Hatter is one that we actually
Yep.
saw. I thought that was like so sick. Um, Stormtrooper one. I know we saw that one recently. The Luke with Grogu's one that we
We haven't
haven't
seen,
seen
which I want
yet.
that so bad.
Yeah, so we haven't seen that one yet. But obviously, like it's supposed to be coming out. And then there's all four of the Ninja Turtle
Yes.
sodas. And we did see these because, by the way, this is all Freddy stuff. So this isn't just the four Ninja Turtles, because obviously we technically have a couple versions of Ninja Turtles and sodas.
Yep.
Now we're getting another version, but it's Freddy as the Ninja Turtle. And the pictures that we've seen so far of these, I mean, they look so awesome.
They're
He's
amazing.
literally green and he's got the like the bandana
These
thing
are like
around his
the
eyes.
OG Funko Freddy Pops that they
Yeah.
make. To
Yeah,
me,
which
these are
is
the
like super sick.
standout of sodas, and the fact that you couldn't get these at the con is insane. And also, like Ninja Turtles hype is out of control right now with the
Oh
new
yeah.
movie. Like to me, getting these in the con, Fun Days box is
Hmm.
like spot on.
Yeah, so it seems pretty nuts. And like I said, Charlie was saying that like obviously some of these, and again, this is what they're saying. They seem to be pretty credible with
Yeah,
like what is going to be coming out, because a lot of them are kind of similar to what we also saw at the event.
yeah,
Because they also said like there's going to be Ted Lasso, there's going to be the Merlin, there's going to be Mike from Stranger Things, which obviously we saw some of those early on. And if they're also crossing over into the home box, that's pretty sick because it makes it even better. Um, I think he's Wolverine as well. Then like there's gonna be a He-Man and a Big Boy soda. We've seen those as well,
yep.
so those are
They're
definitely
sick.
officially some. A Waldo like Diamond version is like potentially one of them as well. The Dustin sodas as well. We saw those before. Blacklight one. But yeah, I think that's
That's
pretty
it.
much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a pretty stacked list. We got like a Fortnite character, Halo Spartan one, the Ron Weasley. Um, but yeah, the Vision. So like, there's a ton of stuff, and a lot of it's duplicating. Some of it's not. But overall, pretty epic. Like in sense of like, can't wait to see more boxes. I'm sure within the next day or two, we'll definitely be getting more pictures because now people are going to really be getting their boxes and it's going to start slowly coming to the East Coast, because we all know the East Coast goddamn takes a couple more days
Forever.
than everybody else on the West Coast to get their stuff, because it's coming from over there. Um, but yeah, definitely. I mean, it's sick. I'm still like so sour that I was not able to even get a box, and this was
No, I
before I even
feel
knew what was in the box.
I
And then
feel
when
bad being so excited for this
yeah,
because it
and like I
sucks.
started seeing them and I'm like, oh my God. And then like I would kind of see a list or I would see some and I'm like, oh, those aren't that cool. That's fine. At
Yeah.
least I didn't get that box. And then I see something and it's like, oh, that's freaking awesome. And I'm like, what the hell? So I mean, it is what it is. Not everybody. I know people were trying to and had issues and weren't able to get through. And like I know Charlie, even you
I
just barely
barely
were able
got
to
it.
get
Yeah.
through. So yeah, I mean, if anybody has any boxes out there, let me know, because I definitely there's some stuff in these boxes I definitely would want, but I just know like the resale value of this stuff's gonna be freaking
It's
insane.
ridiculous.
Granted, these are higher piece counts, so they probably won't be as valuable. But like some of the ones at the con, like I was looking, and some people were posting stuff to go for sale, and it's like 3, 5, $700, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not paying that. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But it's where the value is, I guess. So, but overall, probably one of the better, if not best, like boxes and fun day boxes that we've seen in quite some time.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to you about, I don't know if it was on a podcast, one of the episodes, or whatever, how it was interesting that like we didn't get those super crazy limited Freddy pops anymore. Like,
Yep.
because from the last few ones, they've been like 2,000 piece, maybe a 1,500 piece. And that was like the lowest you saw. So when I started seeing these are like 100 piece, 200, 250, 300, like that was pretty cool, because it's like, all right, they're getting back to this like super exclusive like event stuff. And like if that's what it's gonna be, that's pretty
Cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited for what's to come for New York Comic Con because, like I said, there's a list of some potential stuff, and it's like some stuff that like I definitely will go crazy over because there's a lot of sick stuff in that line. And if that's what's going to be coming out for the New York event, like very excited. I know me and Charlie are really going to try to get into that one. Obviously, being closer to home
Yeah.
versus the San Diego one, it'll be a little easier for us if we can get into it. And if we do, that'll be pretty epic time. I'm sure we'll be able to film some stuff for that because that'd be
Yes.
awesome. So we definitely would want to do that. But yeah, let us know what you think about some of these box like the Freddy's. What are some of your favorites? Like off the top of your head, what do you think's what's your favorite like favorite two or three maybe? Because I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
few
My
pops and soda.
yeah, my top favorites are definitely Anakin, Ted Lasso,
Mhm.
Green Ranger, and I haven't seen a picture of it yet, but I just feel like the Luke
Yeah,
with holding Grogu one is gonna be like amazing. And like all the Star Wars ones are sick.
yeah,
And then for sodas, I mean, for me, I like as crazy as this sounds, like when I saw that Darth Vader Freddy one, I'm like, this is like the greatest soda ever. But those Turtles ones, those are I like those are so sick.
hmm yeah.
Um,
This the sodas.
they're
It's
just
kind of hard to
amazing.
beat those.
Yeah, it's hard to beat them. How about you?
Um, yeah. I mean, as far as like pops go, I would say like obviously Star Wars are all pretty awesome. That number five bloody is pretty sick.
Yeah,
Like that thing, like once we start seeing more people with those, is pretty awesome. The Mad Hatter one's obviously a big one in mine. I love that character. Um, the Green Ranger, like you said, especially because like the mold, like it's pretty sick. But like those turtle sodas are fire, and the Darth Vader soda honestly is pretty
yeah,
sick. The
that's
fact they
sick.
got him as like a soda. And then like the Stranger Things stuff, like all the Stranger Things ones, I like the Mike, the Hopper,
Yeah,
obviously,
they're
like
cool.
those are cool. But yeah, those are probably like the biggest ones that I'm like, wow. The Wolverine one also was pretty epic when we first saw that one
I mean, it's like they're all like amazing.
drop.
Besides like maybe two or three, which I would be like, But I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like every
yeah,
box
like
always has that.
Fortnite and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah. But regardless, like this box is just like I said, I think this is some of the best Freddy's. They're definitely the best Freddy's since they've been allowing you to get a box at home.
yeah, yeah.
Like nothing comes close to this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, and obviously that Captain America one, sick.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. But yeah, let us know what you guys thought of this and of the Boxy event. Definitely let us know what you think about this like drama stuff and what's going on with these stickers, because I just can't wait to see more reveals and more things that are going to be coming out.
Me
As we
too.
start seeing more boxes, and obviously when you get yours in, when Trey gets his in, see
Yeah.
kind of what you guys pull. Maybe they'll send you a duplicate of one pop, and then I can buy it off you.
Yeah. I mean, and two, I'm pretty sure we have some listeners who I know definitely went to the con. And I'm assuming you got to go to Fun Days. So definitely let us know how it was. Let us know what you got. And I'm for people who actually got to go, I am really not that I'm not interested in everyone's opinion, but like how do you feel knowing that some of your pops may only be exclusive to the sticker?
hmm
Like I am really curious to know how people who are there, it's a lot easier for us to be at home who never went to kind of give our opinion versus people who spent all that money to go there. Had a, if you weren't local, you had to fly there, you had to get a
hmm
hotel, you had to pay for the event, which isn't cheap. And it's kind of like, I'm sure it was a lot of people, hot, sweaty. Like it's just, did it damper your opinion on the event? Or are you like, I cannot wait for like 2024 Fun Days?
hmm
I'm just curious.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
Obviously, initially, once these whole
Yes.
box things come out, it's interesting to see like if it changes their mind or not. But I'm sure they still enjoyed it regardless, because being there is probably
It's
still
so
cool
cool.
and meeting people and everything. And like, yeah, we didn't talk about how like obviously they had a signing and like Mike and Brian were both there
Yeah.
signing, which is weird because he was only there. He signed and then basically he dipped essentially.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it's funny.
that was his last hurrah, I guess. Like,
Yeah, because I in the beginning we were talking about, I thought it was weird, but it's okay. He was there for Friday when it was Fun Days, and I was like, I'm not coming back.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, he
definitely
was.
why he did that.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
because the
interesting too. One thing that I was thinking about, it's like this definitely, like, I know some people have been like, was this like a planned thing that he knew he was stepping down? I mean, they made a point to make like a Fun Days blockbuster rewind figure of him. That's why
yeah,
I know we had a whole episode about this. There's a lot more something behind the scenes with that, which I probably what we did talk about
yeah,
than like anyone
yeah. Like
wants to
he wasn't
believe.
just like like
Yeah.
fired, or he didn't just like. I feel like he kind of like was like boom out of nowhere and kind of hit people with a
Yeah.
bit of a surprise thing. But yeah, I mean, and I saw like seeing some videos of him when he was signing and stuff. He actually seemed a little
He's
more older, like
I
he was kind of like
agree.
there. He looks so weird with the hair, but it's whatever. Um, but obviously Mike is the one that's always, in front of the camera. He's the emceeing one. He's up on stage. He's getting people all crazy and whatever. And like Brian never really was that person necessarily. So like to
No.
see Mike doing the rest of that made more sense.
And they
But it
still
was
love the
kind of interesting.
fans. Like
Yeah.
watching people with videos, like it's super cool. I mean, I know someone had gave Brian a pop to sign where he legitimately put it on like a necklace.
Hmm.
And I mean, Brian was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, it's just like he still obviously has like a passion for this stuff. And
Yeah.
Mike is just, insane, even though I couldn't believe he called Top Pops Pop Tops. So
Pop Tarts. Dude, that is hilarious. Like that.
and then he's like,
Just
here's my best friend like an hour later in another video.
yeah, no, it's so funny. Yeah, it was a lot of people there though. Definitely a lot of big names in the
Yeah.
YouTube and Funko community for sure. Content creators. But yeah, definitely makes me even more excited for what's to come for the East Coast version over here in New
Yes.
York. And we are definitely excited to see what rumors and what's going to be coming out, what is their theme for the event, and once we get more of that information, hopefully if you guys that are listening go to cons and we're able to go, I mean, when we get closer to it, we'll know for sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'd love to definitely meet some people there if hopefully we can.
No, that would be amazing.
Um, but yeah, that'll be it. So not too long of an episode. We wanted to just
No.
get right
Yeah.
into the guts and everything with all this damn San Diego stuff and all these boxes specifically. But definitely good luck to everybody who did get a box. I hope you guys get some pretty awesome stuff. Um, Also, one thing I was interesting is like now we're still waiting for that next NFT drop. By the way, it
Yeah.
seems like it's been forever, right? Because of the con and stuff, I'm sure. But let's see what we get in the next drop. Because hopefully something on that list, but hopefully it's not a billion packs like last time.
I
So
know they
I
got
don't
to
know.
be done with a billion packs, but I feel like it is going to be something on that list, which, as we all know, that list is straight fire.
Yeah.
But once again, we hope everyone had a good Fun Days con, and please throw down comments of what you got, even some of the pops you just got from San Diego Comic that weren't part of Fun Days, but we want to know it all, and we're definitely going to share
Mhm.
what we got. And as always, if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe to this channel, we would really appreciate it. Like that video and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are coming out. And make sure you're following us on social media at Collector Chatter on Instagram, so where we mainly post stuff. And then obviously both of our accounts. And if you're watching on YouTube, you see them below. But if you're listening on podcasts, it's at pop_Migs and at Collector_Charlie. And if you're on the podcast, if you could please follow the podcast. And if you're on Spotify, please interact with our polls and stuff because we do throw up some juicy questions up there. All right, everyone. With that being said, collecting is the way. Until next week, later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.